Welcome back to ILTV on the Hour. We're live in Israel bringing you the biggest headlines from the region. I'm Sivan Raviv and today is day 709 of the war in Gaza. Let's get into all the top headlines of this hour. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Israel today amid growing questions over coordination with Jerusalem following Israel's strike on Hamas leaders in Doha. Rubio insisted on the eve of his visit that the dispute will not change U.S. support for Israel, but that they will discuss the impact. Rubio met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and has meetings set with President Isaac Herzog and Foreign Minister Gideon Saar. He will also visit families and hostages. He joined the ceremony at the City of David Archaeological Park and made a stop at the Western Wall with Netanyahu. Let's take a listen.
I think his visit here is a testament to the durability, the strength of the Israeli-American alliance. It's as strong and as durable as the stones of the Western Wall that we just touched under President Trump and Secretary Rubio and their entire team. This alliance has never been stronger.
It's day 709 of the war in Gaza. The IDF continued strikes on Hamas positions over the weekend, bringing down high-rise buildings that could be used to monitor the planned advance into Gaza City. Palestinian sources report dozens killed in airstrikes across Gaza City, Khan Yunis, Rafah, and Deir al-Balah. The strikes come amid repeated calls for residents to evacuate south. The IDF says about 250,000 people, a quarter of Gaza City's population, have already fled. Officials stress the plan is meant to protect civilians while expanding humanitarian zones in the south. Meanwhile, the army is upgrading Crossing 147 to AAA deliveries, enabling up to 150 trucks per day, thereby enabling an increased influx of aid with an emphasis on food into the humanitarian zone. And yet again, a drone was fired from Yemen targeting Ramon Airport region in Israel today, but was intercepted before entry into Israeli airspace. Alarms went off earlier over a Bedouin community in the southern Arava near Ramon Airport as a UAV launched by the Houthis was spotted from Yemen. Just minutes later, it was shot down. Authorities warned of possible falling debris, and rocket and terror alerts also sounded in the city of Eilat. The Israeli Home Front Command confirmed that the threat has ended, with no casualties and no damage reported. The United Nations General Assembly has overwhelmingly endorsed a declaration paving the way toward a two-state solution. The resolution, drafted by France and Saudi Arabia, passed Friday with 142 votes in favor, 10 against, and 12 abstentions. The text includes a controversial right of return clause, which Israel warns would turn the Jewish state into another Arab-majority country. It also calls for an immediate release in Gaza, the release of all hostages, and the establishment of a Palestinian state, with Hamas disarmed and excluded from power. Israel and the United States rejected the resolution, calling it one-sided. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Dani Danon, slammed the vote as a prize for terrorism. The decision comes ahead of the UN General Assembly later this month, where several Western nations are expected to formally recognize a Palestinian state. In a historic move this weekend, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signed off on plans to advance the long-delayed E1 project near Ma'ale Adumim, a strategic development on the east of Jerusalem. Speaking at a ceremony, Netanyahu declared, "This place belongs to us." The plan will add over 3,400 homes and modern infrastructure to expand Israeli sovereignty and security in Judea and Samaria. The total investment is expected to reach nearly $1 billion. And Israel's National Security Council issued a warning today about Iran-backed terror threats targeting Israelis and Jews abroad as the Jewish holiday season approaches. The assessment calls out groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and Al-Shabaab as being motivated to act, especially around the anniversary of October 7th. The Council urges caution and advises to avoid displaying Jewish or Israeli symbols, being mindful of speaking Hebrew in public, and staying away from large unsecured gatherings. Israelis are advised to report any incidents to local authorities and use the NSC hotline if necessary. That's a wrap for this edition of ILTV on the Hour, broadcasting live from Israel and the heart of the Middle East. I'm Sivan Raviv. Thank you very much for watching.